Yo, yo, what up? Okay, so check it out. So I got a lot of responses from a lot of you guys that saw the video that I was talking about those of us that are basically assholes. Okay, so this video is basically for those of you that have been assholes in your life. Maybe people have been calling you narcissistic. You know, maybe like you're constantly running into relationship issues. Maybe you got an issue right now in your marriage. And this video is for you, okay? Because what I'm about to tell you is the reason why you are fucking up everything, okay? Straight up, okay? And I know a lot of you are probably thinking like, I'm not the one fucking it up. They are. She is. That's exactly what narcissists do, okay? They blame everybody else. They don't accept responsibility. And the reason why I'm telling you that it's your fault is because this is the only thing that you have control over. You can't control her. You can't control them. You can only control you, right? So as you work on you and you change the way that you react, the way that you behave, the way that the things that you say, right? What's going to happen is the dynamic around you is going to change, right? The people around you are going to change. Your relationships with these people are going to change, okay? So there's a reason why you guys are fucked up, okay? And I mentioned this in the video yesterday, and the reason why you guys are fucked up is because you are hurt, okay? You are hurt. That's the reason you're an asshole, a narcissist, you're toxic, you're fucking up everything. The reason why you're constantly getting in these positions with people, especially in your relationships with women, is because you are fucked up emotionally, okay? You. This is the only thing you have control over because you can fix this shit. I'm about to teach you how, okay? So, and this is to keep in mind, and this is something that I really want to speak to you men that have been having issues in your marriage, okay? Because this is something, I've had issues in mine as well too, and this is something that rings true in mine as well, okay? And I'm going to give you some examples so that way you can I'm sure you can kind of relate to what I'm about to tell you, okay? Now, but first, before we get there, let me back up so that way you understand how this thing played out in my life, because I guarantee you a lot of you guys have a very similar situation, maybe very similar feelings and insecurities, which is leading to you behaving in a certain way that is pretty similar across the board when it comes to your relationships with your women, and it's leading to you fucking those relationships up, okay? And at some point, you're going to push her away. You're definitely not supporting her emotional needs, and there's a very high likelihood that she's either going to end it and run, right? Divorce you, leave your ass, or she's going to start cheating on you with somebody who will meet those emotional needs, okay? I don't want you guys to have to experience any of this, so I'm trying to give you a heads up, trying to help you with something that's helped me tremendously. So, but just like I was saying, so, and to kind of give you guys, if you haven't watched this video before or heard me tell my story before, to kind of give you a quick, story about how this thing played out, okay? I grew up fatherless, okay? Zero contact whatsoever, all right? So, when I was younger, I was told this story that, he left my mother whenever she got pregnant. That was the story that I was told. Turns out, later on, I didn't find out till way later that wasn't even true. But by the time I had already found out all that shit, I was already fucked up, okay? Really bad, all right? Because as a kid, not really understanding why his father didn't want to be around, right? Every day I would wake up and I would hope that, I'd get a phone call, I'd get a letter, he would show up to a game, he would show up to a practice, he would just, something, right? Because I never knew this guy, right? Never got any of this, okay? So you're talking over 7,000 days from the time of my birth to 18 where this never happened. So imagine how much pain and hurt that I've basically developed and basically had accumulated, is the word I'm looking for, over all those years, right? Now, when I was younger, it hurt, right? As that hurt kept getting more and more and more day by day by day, that hurt turned into anger, okay? That anger led to me being an evil human being. Okay, I was a kid. I got into a lot of trouble as a kid, you guys. I got in so much trouble. I robbed a place 3 times when I was 9. When I say I was trouble, I'm talking about I was some serious trouble. Okay? And it was because I was emotionally fucked up. And what had happened was, now I understand myself now, but back then I didn't. Okay. And as a kid at that age, you tend to blame yourself, right? Because you don't understand the situation. You don't understand. So you tend to blame yourself, right? And I'm sure some of you guys got a very, very similar situation where you had a parent that wasn't around. Maybe a parent died. Maybe you had a divorce in your childhood that was really tough and your dad wasn't around often, mom wasn't around often, something like that. You're going to have the same exact feelings that I'm about to tell you, okay? So the feelings that I developed there was a few of them. And in this situation, that we're going to refer to them as bullets, okay? And these bullets, and we say them, we use the term bullets because I want you to imagine when you get hurt, it's like somebody shot your ass, okay? You got shot, okay? You're hurt. That bullet stays in you forever until you pull that motherfucker out, okay? And that pain from that bullet is always existent, okay? Always existent until you pull that motherfucker out so you can heal, all right? Now listen to what I'm saying. You all have bullets. Even if you grew up with two parents in the household, more than likely, it was a very toxic relationship. You got bullets from that shit. You got a dad who was kind of a dickhead to you whenever you were a kid, told you were stupid, told you were a dumbass, told you can't do anything right. You got bullets from that shit, okay? Now, same thing with, and there's even kids, man, that I know guys that got bullets from just straight being that kid on the playground, right? That nobody wanted to play with when they were younger. Or maybe you were that fat kid, right? That, was super insecure and everybody used to pick on. You got a fucking lifetime of bullets from that right there, right? So anyway, so there's a lot of factors that will lead to you having all this hurt that is repressed, which is, it's the hurt that's making you the asshole. It's making you narcissistic. Now, let me give you back up to the story because this is something that you're probably going to relate to, all right? When I grew up with this situation going on, right, single mom raising two kids, no dad involved whatsoever, and I was getting these bullets day by day by day by day, like, right? And what was happening was I had these feelings of not being good enough, right? So I call it my NGE bullet, right? Not being good enough. I was unwanted. I felt unwanted. I felt unloved, right? And these three things are probably something that you guys can relate to. You might even be able to relate to at least one, but probably all three, all right? Because I know a lot of us, our parents fucked us up, y'all. They did. And this is actually one of the reasons why I'm trying to educate you guys on this, because if you don't fix you, you're fucking up your kids too, okay? Then they're just going to repeat the same exact shit you're doing now, okay? So this is why we got to fix us, right? We got to fix us, right? So anyway, so what happened was I got these bullets, right? I got these, negative emotions. Now what happened was, because I had all this going on, it made me react and act out in very, very negative ways all the time, right? Got in lots of trouble, got in lots of fights. I had zero respect for authority whatsoever. I didn't even care about myself, right? I did things, didn't even care, right? If I died, I died. I didn't give a shit, right? And so anyway, so what happened was, over the years, I had learned to start doing some personal development and working on myself. And, I grew up really, really poor. And I'm like, I'm not living like this as an adult, right? So I've done a lot of things positive in my life to try and change the direction of my life, right? But I still had all this shit deep down, right? And I was fucking up every single relationship that I was in, okay, unknowingly. And I actually used to, in my mind, I was like the kind of dude that was like, I am never getting married. No girl's ever going to settle me down. I am never, ever, ever going to have kids. Like, I was that dude, right? And it was because I didn't want to be hurt, was really what it was, right? I didn't want to be hurt. So when I would date these girls, I would always have certain standards that they would have to meet that I knew they would never be able to make, right? So because one of the things that happens when you have these bullets, right, is that it will actually make you outperform in other ways, right? So you don't feel good enough, you feel like you're unloved, you feel like you're unwanted, so you outperform, usually physically or in life or in business or financially or some other way, to prove to yourself and to others that you are good enough, that you are wanted. So it actually does have some positive that comes out of it, but it's the negative when it comes to relationships with other people, where it's really detrimental, right? So anyway, so what happened was I'm outperforming everybody. I set these standards for girls that I know they're never, ever, ever going to be able to achieve. So I knew that way I would never have to settle down, right? And then when I was about 28 years old, I discovered this emotional process. And it basically was along the lines of, it was saying, like, when you're holding on to shit subconsciously, it's kind of like driving through life with your e-brake on, right? You're having to work much harder, you know, but you got all this subconscious shit weighing you down, right? Like anchors cast on a boat and you're just revving your engine, right? But you're not moving as fast as you could be, right? So once I discovered that, I'm like, I definitely need to do some of my shit on my daddy issues, right? So I learned this technique, did it, completely changed my life, right? What I didn't know, though, okay, and after I did this process, and I'm not even going to teach you this one in here because this one's a different one. It's one that you do in writing. The one I'm going to teach you is something you can do like this instantly and instantly start to fix your shit, right? But anyway, so I did this shit, right, this emotional work, and it freed me, right? And that was kind of like my big aha moment, like, holy shit, all these years I've been feeling like this because of that shit. And I was like, fuck, right? Thought I was good. Okay? Thought I was good. Didn't realize that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of layers to all this emotional damage, right? So years go by. I'm 42 now, by the way. Years go by, and married, and life situations happen, things going on. We got problems with teenage kids. We got all this shit. Well, a lot of those issues that I had been holding on to subconsciously start to surface, right? And then it's affecting how I'm behaving in the situation, how I'm reacting. And this is where you guys are fucking this up, okay? This is where you're fucking this up. When you have all this hurt that is deep inside of you, okay, you're doing a few things wrong that you can't even control, okay? Because remember, we got all these bullets, blah, 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 right? But when you are in certain situations that trigger those emotions, all right? So let's say your wife says something to you, right? She's trying to help you out. She says something to you. It triggers that bullet that you're not good enough, right? And it's very similar to like sticking a knife in that hole, right? Sticking a knife in that hole and twisting it around. And there's so much pain that you will react and fight back and defend, justify with logic and everything. You will defend it to the death, because you're in that pain subconsciously and you don't want to feel that shit, right? So what's happening is your wife is trying to express, or your girlfriend's trying to express something to you, okay, which is part of how she gets her emotional needs met. She's trying to express something to you, and you are reacting, right? In very negative ways often, saying some mean shit, exploding, getting angry, all kinds of other bullshit, because you have all this emotional baggage that is causing you to react. So what happens is as you heal, right? As you deal with your bullshit, you'll stop reacting, right? You'll stop exploding. You'll stop getting angry. You're going to stop losing your shit, because I know that you are, right? And in an area especially that is very, very important when it comes to your relationships with women, and this is something that I just recently learned, okay? I am no relationship expert, but I have been devouring relationship shit for a long time, but this shit that I just recently discovered completely changed my perspective in relationships, okay? And the one thing that you guys got to understand when it comes to your relationships with women, okay, we are two completely different beings that have two completely different needs in the relationship and roles, right? And when you are reacting, when you are exploding, right? You aren't, so your wife brings something to you, right? She's like, why are you leaving your dishes in the sink, right? Boom, you fly off the handle, lose your shit, okay? Say some mean ass shit to her, right? Reacting, because you're hurt. Because when she said that twisted the knife in your fucking not good enough emotion, right? You felt that shit. You immediately responded without even fucking thinking, right? Now you just dug yourself a deeper hole because your ass is being a fucking dickhead. Now, flip the script. Okay, there's two things that you got to understand. A few things, actually. Number one of the key things that women need in a relationship is to feel safe and secure. One of the things that you never want to do in front of your wife Never, and I've been guilty of this myself, man. I've done this many times. Okay, not actually to her, but because of shit that was going on in our lives that was triggering it, right? So she was around it, right? But it wasn't directed at her, right? But it doesn't matter because it still makes her feel the same way. Okay. But the one thing that you guys got to understand is that she has to feel safe and secure. You are never allowed to express anger in front of your wife. Most of you do it immediately. You're reacting. The moment she says something, bah, what the fuck you, blah, you lose your shit. Okay? I know. Because I know some of you motherfuckers, and I know how you treat your wives. Okay? You're fucking dicks. All right? And that's coming from a dickhead. Right? If I'm saying it, that means your ass is fucking horrible. Right? Because there's some shit that you guys are saying to your wives. I would never in a million years say that shit to my wife. Okay? And I'm an asshole too. So, but anyway. So what's happening is your wife is trying to express herself. You're losing your shit, which is shutting her down, taking away her feelings of safety and security. Now she can't fucking trust you. Now she's not getting her emotional needs met. Now, this happens over time. Guess what happens? She starts to feel unloved, rejected, right? Unwanted. Same shit that you felt. Remember? Remember all those things that you've been feeling subconsciously? Now you're making your wife feel this way because you ain't hearing her. You ain't listening, right? And your wife needs to be heard, understood, appreciated, valued. She's got to be able to express herself because that's how she pulls her bullets, guys. Okay? We pull ours differently. She pulls hers by just being able to express to you, right? No matter how painful it is, suck it up and take that shit. Ask her more questions, find out more about it, try and understand what she's trying to say behind those words, right? For example, you always leave your fucking dishes in the sink. Why are you so fucking lazy, right? Boom. She said that to you. That triggered you. What is she really trying to say? Instead of being like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. You left your dishes in there yesterday. Why you always giving me shit? Which is what most you motherfuckers would say, right? Now, instead, think about, and it really is, you're not actually going to be able to do this until you do the emotional work. Okay? Until you do this emotional work, you're going to pop off every time uncontrollably. But once you actually do some emotional work and peel away these layers of pain, you'll actually be able to do what I'm about to tell you. So, she's giving you shit about the dishes, right? Now, instead of popping off, you can be like, oh, you know what? I apologize. My bad. I'll get that. I really appreciate you for always wanting to keep a clean house and keeping dishes out of the sink. I really appreciate the fact that you like to have a clean kitchen for us and the kids. See the difference? See the difference? Now, who do you think's going to have a good night versus who's going to be fucking sleeping on the couch, right? That's the difference. But until you do this emotional work, you can't respond in a healthy way. And truly, you aren't healthy until you are emotionally healthy, right? So, all right, so here's the tricks. Let's get to it, okay? Now, when it comes to you healing from this shit, and I'm telling you guys, you're going to have a lot of shit built up for decades, guys. I had 4 fucking decades of shit built up, right? And I'm still doing work, okay? I've been working on this shit since 2020, okay? And I'm 1,000 times better than I used to be, okay? I actually don't get triggered anymore at all, right? I used to get triggered every fucking day. I don't get triggered anymore. So, but anyway, so when it comes to you peeling away these layers of hurt and pain, you got to first begin with something that's triggering you now, right? You can't really think your way into those emotions. If your mom wasn't around when you were a kid, you can't like think your way into that and then try and pull some shit out of there. But the whole point of this is you have to release the emotions. Okay, like I was telling you, women pull their bullets by just expressing and talking, right? When they have these conversations with you and you're actually able to pull that shit out of her, you're pulling her bullets. Okay, that's how you pull hers. They're different than us. We're a little more crazy and fucking psychotic when it comes to how we deal with our emotions. All right? 2 completely different beings. All right, okay? So here's my 2 tricks on how you can heal. All right? And you can do this really anywhere. Okay? And this is my number 1 reason, my number 1 way. It's my number 1 technique. And if you hear my voice, how it sounds a little hoarse, this is exactly why. Because I've been doing some fucking work, right? So You have to take a situation that has happened right now and immediately, right? Like I was telling you, you can't just think your way into an emotion. You have to deal with something that's triggered you now, right? Like, you know, somebody said something to you and it's fucking pissed you off, or it's triggered you in some way. Maybe it hurt your feelings. Maybe it made you want to cry. Here's step one. There's 2 steps into releasing your emotional baggage and dealing with your emotional shit that I'm going to teach you, that you can do really anywhere once you get the shit that I'm about to tell you. But you need to do it as soon as shit comes out. And remember, you can never express this shit in front of your wife, okay? Never in front of your women. You have to do this shit in private where no one else is around, okay? You got to do this shit in private, but this is what you got to do, okay? So, like I was telling you, you have to release the emotions, right? You have 30, 40, 50 years of you just holding on to shit. Because as we were kids, we were always taught, we're not supposed to be angry. We're not supposed to act that way. We're not supposed to get mad. We're not supposed to. So what happens? From the time we were small, we've been repressing our emotions. Well, guess what? That's how you end up divorced. That's how you end up ruining relationships. That's how you end up with bad behaviors and bad decisions that ruin your fucking life, is by repressing your emotions. So now, as a grown-ass man, it is your responsibility to fucking deal with your emotions and to heal from your emotions. And you do that by actually getting some fucking privacy and letting that shit out. Okay? So let me take it for example. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's say your wife did something piss you off, okay? Remember, don't show anger. Get in your motherfucking car and drive away, okay? Here's what you're going to do. When you get in the car, let it out. Let it out, okay? Go drive down the street. Go to an empty parking lot. Go to some woods. And I literally want you to just fucking scream your head off. Fuck you! Fuck you, you fucking bitch! Fuck you! Ah! And just keep going, okay? Let it all out, okay? Till you have nothing left. Your fucking voice is hoarse. You're fucking, just let it all go, right? And what you're going to find is some of you, because there's so many years of hurt and anger and frustration and resentment, that you're going to be fucking screaming for like, sometimes, especially initially, you may be fucking screaming for 30 minutes straight, an hour straight. Just straight up, just, just, fuck you fucking, like losing your shit. Like, I'm not even kidding you, okay? And for those of you that are ladies watching this shit, I'm sure this is probably scaring the shit out of you, which is why this video is not for you. This is for the men. But this is how we deal with our shit, right? We're different, okay? So you got to let that out, all right? Because all this anger and stuff that you have, okay, like I was telling you in the beginning, all this anger and stuff, underneath that is actually a ton of hurt, okay? The anger is there really just protecting the hurt, right? So once you release all this shit, right? You release all this anger. If you're really good at actually surrendering to it and letting this shit go, what you're going to find is as you start to peel these layers away, you're going to get emotional, right? So you go from being, fuck you, you fucking bitch, ah, to ugly cry face. Okay? Straight up ugly cry face, right? And then you may just start bawling, right? That shit has been inside you for decades, right? And as you start to peel these layers away, because you'll be able to peel off many in one session, right? You're going to things will pop into your head. You will remember something that hurt you that, wasn't about your wife telling you that you're a fucking lazy pig and don't do your dishes, right? Now you're remembering something about that fucking girlfriend that cheated on you 16 years ago, or something your dad said to you when you were 7, or blah, 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 right? Like you'll start to discover areas of other pain that your subconscious mind is starting to let out, right? Go with it. Go with it. Go there. Let that shit rip, okay? And then if you need to cry, let that shit out. Then what you may find too, and I found that this happens too, with a lot of men, okay, especially myself, is that you'll be angry, you'll fucking cry, then you may discover a whole new level of fucking anger, and then you'll cry some more, and it goes, it sometimes goes in little pockets and sessions. So, so that one is the immediate, easy way to deal with your shit right now, right? So I'm telling you, do this shit now, soon as we get off this video, okay? And what I want you to do is, and just wait for your wife to trigger you, or somebody at work to trigger you, right? Then just be like, excuse me, I'll be right back. Okay? Vroom! Hop in your fucking car and let it rip. Let it fucking rip. Just let it out. Dude, there has been times, remember that teenage kid that I was talking about, all right, that we were having trouble with? We're still having trouble with this till this day, okay? Talking 6 years, okay? He ain't even teen anymore, he's 20. But anyway, I have had to pull some serious emotional work from that one, and I swear to you, I had so much anger and frustration built up from that I literally felt like I was breathing fire. It was just like, and it just would not stop. I literally went for like a half an hour. It literally felt like I had flames shooting out, just like, it was just so much anger and frustration. And because of, 6 years of going through the bullshit, right? So anyway, so you may have to do it with your kids, with some exes. You may have to do it with your mom, your dad, your aunts, your business partners, anybody that's ever hurt you, anybody that's ever pissed you off. You got to deal with that shit, okay? You got to let it out, because if you don't let it out, it's destroying you. And hurt people hurt people. Did you hear what I said? Hurt people hurt people. Healthy people don't hurt people, okay? Healthy people don't respond like you respond. Healthy people don't say mean-ass shit to their women and their wives. Only hurt people do that, right? So as you heal, right, and as you're peeling these layers away, because there will be thousands of them, you're going to notice a couple things, okay? You're going to notice, for one, you're calm, right? Because a lot of you guys are super anxious all the time, all day, right? Super stressed out all the time, all day, right? As you release this shit, calm is going to come over you. You're going to feel more relaxed. You're going to feel more peace. You're going to feel free. No fucking joke. Free, right? And then when it comes time to, you left your dirty dish in the sink, and chances are, now that you're more emotionally healed, you're actually going to be thinking more in the present. You may not even leave that dish in the sink anymore. It's another little thing you may not know there. It's your subconscious mind that's making you do that shit, right? So as you start to heal, you may not even leave the dish in the sink anymore, right? So your wife may not even say a word about that shit. But let's say you do, and she says something to you, you are going to be able to process that information, right? And respond in a more healthy way, okay? And when you do that, it's going to change how she's expecting you to react, and she's going to be like, what? What did you just, the fuck did you just say? I was totally expecting you to say, fuck you, you bitch, blah, 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 right? The shit that you've always said, right? I would never say that shit to my wife, but some of you guys do, right? So, but you're going to start responding differently. And guess what happens whenever you start to respond and react differently? She reacts differently. See where I'm going with this? So as you fix you, you are changing the dynamic between you two. Ooh, I need to make that a quote. I just made that shit up, right? And this is something, like I said, I'm no fucking relationship expert, but I'm fucking trying to be, right? I'm devouring this shit and learning from this shit as much as I possibly can, because I want to be able to help not only my own life, but I actually want to share this shit with all of you guys too, because the divorce rate today is fucking ridiculous, guys. Out where I live, it's like 72%. Okay? America, it's like 52%, 50%, some shit like that, right? Which basically means that 5 out of 10 couples are fucking failing. And the majority of the reasons why this is fucking happening is because men are fucked up. Straight up. Because we're fucked up emotionally. So we are not in the role or behaving in a way that is healthy for the relationship. And this is what happens. right? You end up in a situation where you're getting divorced, right? So, and that's what I want to prevent, right? Because it's important for your children to have an example of a healthy relationship, right? The best example you can give your children is the example of a happy relationship, because children tend to repeat the example they had set before them, okay? That's science, right? Something I've known all along, right? But I was so fucked up, it was still making me behave in very negative ways, right? Even though, like, you know, I was 10xing many other areas in a great way, certain areas I was really fucking up, okay? And it really damaged my relationship, okay? So I want to help you guys so you guys can stop doing this shit, because I did the same thing. So trust me, I know how you feel. I know how she feels. I get it. We've all been doing this shit all wrong, right? So, and this also applies to some of you, like if some of your wives have actually like cheated on you, it's your fault. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's your fault. Because women only do that when they aren't getting their emotional needs met in the relationship, and she happens to come across and she's angry and bitter and resentful because she's been shut down and not had her needs met for years, and she happened to come across somebody or seek somebody who would. He happened to be there. He did it. Bang, bang, bang. So she rewarded him with some of that action. So keep that shit in mind. So for those of you like, my wife fucking cheated. Well, it's because you didn't do your job as a man and meet her emotional needs. So she got them met somewhere else. It's a tough pill to swallow, but that's just how it is, man. So, but anyway, here's step 2. How you can heal from this shit, okay? Step 2. So we got the yelling, right? This is one of my like favorite ones, because like, as you can tell, my voice is very hoarse. I don't remember what it was. Something happened the other day and it pissed me off. Like, and I haven't really been angry in a while, right? I've been good because I've done so much emotional work, but I've noticed with everything that's going on in the world right now, which it hasn't been anything in my immediate life that's been making me angry. It's actually the shit that I see going on right now in the world within politics and all this BS that we got going on. That has been like building up anger inside of me. And I started to notice, I'm like, man, I'm starting to get like a little pissy lately, and I need to deal with this shit. So I did it, right? That's why I'm hoarse. So, but it, like I said, it may not be anything in your, it may just be like that with you. Right? You may have something else going on in life that has nothing to do with your relationships with people, nothing to do with your job or anything. It's just other shit that's causing you to be angry and frustrated. You gotta let that shit out, because if you don't, you're going to react in very negative ways when it comes to other people, especially your spouse or your female. So, so the second step. So first step is the I call it the car scream. Okay, car scream. You just fucking go for a drive. 10, 15, 30 minutes, whatever you need to do, let that shit go. Let it out, then you can go home. Okay? Car scream is number 1. Number 2, boxing. Okay? I would buy either a heavy bag, okay, like a 100-pound, 300-pound heavy bag, hang it in your garage, hang it in your backyard, or a body action system. Look that up. So it's a body action system, BAS, body action system. I have one in my gym. I have a heavy bag in my gym too. And you use that to let it out. Okay, and the other key to this too, when you're letting out these emotions, you want to let it out mostly with no words. So just sound, like fucking caveman style. Ah! Like not actually speaking, just, and you're gonna drop some fucks and fuck you, you stupid bitch. You're gonna drop those, right? But for the most part, you want to try and do it with no language, because then you're really gonna get to the emotion and the root of that, right? You're really going to get deep inside there when you do it that way. So, so anyway, so same thing with it when it comes to, so my step 2 is boxing. Okay. So boxing, you got to have a place to be able to do it. So the car scream, you can do immediately. Okay. Immediately. All right. And I've been teaching this to a lot of people, to a lot of my clients. I got a client that's newer, that's got a really fucked up childhood too. And, I taught this to him the other day, and it's completely changed his life. Okay, and the dude's almost 60. Okay, and I taught this to him, and he used to be riddled with all chronic pain and stuff, right? And this is another factor that you guys don't realize. When you're dealing with a lot of these emotions, and you have all this shit deep down, these thousands and thousands of layers of pain and hurt and stuff, This shit triggers pain in your body. Okay? It triggers sickness and disease. Okay? So not only is it healthy for you to get this shit out so you can just be emotionally healthy, it's also very important that you get it out so you can be physically healthy. So anyway, so this client, as he's been doing this, and he's been mainly doing the car scream, right? And loves it. His little aches and pains that he's been dealing with forever, disappearing. He's moving around more smoothly. He's moving around much more fluidly. He's much happier now. He's calm, right? He used to get frustrated and angry like that. Like, you're trying to show him a move and he'd be like, God damn it! God damn it! Fuck, why can't I get this right? Like, literally, just from trying to show him an exercise. I'm like, bro, chill. It's not that big of a deal. Chill. But I knew it was because of his past, right? Which is why I wanted to teach him this technique that I learned. And I'm telling you, night and day now. And he's only been doing this now for maybe 2 weeks. And when he comes in, he's calm, he's peaceful. You can feel his energy. He's just free, right? He used to be very wound up and very anxious, and he gimped around everywhere because he was in so much pain, you know? And it's completely changed who he is. It's super cool. So anyway, and that's just one example. I have a lot of examples and stuff like that. So that's just one of my most recent ones. But anyway, so those are the two moves. So the two moves, car scream and box, okay? When you get on that bag, squeeze them hands hard, put some gloves on because your knuckles will get fucked up, and just let her rip. Rah, 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 rah. And you can fucking scream at the same time. Fuck you, bitch. Bah, 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 bah. Just let it out, okay? For those of you that are women watching this video, this is going to sound a little crazy, a little psycho, but we are men. We are designed to be fucking killers, warriors who protect our families, right? We are designed to go to battle. Absolute fucking gladiators, okay? We deal with our emotions differently. So if this makes you feel uncomfortable, good, stop watching. It's not for you anyway. This is for my dudes. This is for my warriors, all right? So anyway, so those are the two techniques. That's the reason why you want to do it. And that's really all you got to do. And I would literally, like, right now, like, you may be even watching this in your car right now. Go drive down an empty road, go to an empty parking lot, think about something that just pissed you off or upset you recently. Let that shit rip. Just let it rip. Let it out. Just fucking breathe fire, baby. Breathe fire. And then when you're done, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about, because you go from being like, right? To, wow, such a nice day outside. Huh. Right? Literally, it completely changes who you are. So the moment you release it and let it go, okay? And that's how we pull our bullets, boys. That's how you pull your bullets. You got to pull that shit out, because it's never going to go away. And life is going to keep sticking those knives in those holes. You got to pull them out. Otherwise, you will fuck up everything. You will be an asshole forever. You will be a narcissist forever. You will ruin every single relationship. You'll be a terrible fucking parent. And you're going to be terrible to work with. You're going to be a terrible boss. You're going to be a terrible everything until you pull those bullets. You got to get those fucking things out. Okay? Which is why I wanted to teach you this. It's why this video is so long. And I wanted to make sure to get this across to you so that way you understand it. You got to do the work on this. You got to free yourself of this, and you got to pull those bullets out so that way you can heal and you can gain more control over your emotional state and truly your happiness. You guys, I'm going through some serious shit right now in my life, okay? I'm at the happiest I've ever been in my life. No joke. No joke. Like, I used to be so wound up and stressed and anxious all the time because of all the emotion that I was just repressing unknowingly. Like, I had no idea that there were so many thousands and thousands and thousands of layers, right? And I was actually at a point like a few months back where I was like, I'd been doing so much emotional work on myself that I was like, good God, I haven't even scratched the surface of how deep this shit goes. And I'm like, how has anybody ever dated me ever in my life? I am so fucked up. Like, I felt sorry for every woman that's ever been in my life. I'm like, I am so emotionally just wrecked. Like, how the fuck has anybody ever dated me? Right? And I'm like, it's because I have abs. That's why. Because I'm sexy. That's why. Can't not do it whenever they're always being attracted, right? So I actually made a post about that earlier today, trying to give you guys some secrets about that. But anyway, but I was really emotionally fucked up. And I'm finally at the point now where I'm like, okay, I'm actually very emotionally healthy now. I'm actually really proud of where I'm at right now. But a few months ago, I was like, I am no one to be around. I'm so fucked up. I really need to peel more of these layers. I have so many left. I haven't even scratched the surface. But I'm good now. So, but like I said, I'm constantly, you're going to get bullets in your life every single day, right? You're going to have issues. People are going to hurt you. And this is something that you guys got to understand too. No matter how great of a person you are always going to get hurt. In some way, somehow, you're always going to get hurt. That's just something that's going to happen. So you have to learn to, and sometimes it's not intentional, right? The person's not doing it to you intentional, but sometimes they'll do things or say things that may hurt you because of some insecurity or something that you have or whatever. And you're going to get hurt. It's just life, right? Now, my fellas, you know how to deal with this shit. And these are the two ways that I have found they're like the hack to fixing that shit instantly, okay? So car scream and box. Okay, you do those two things, you're going to be so emotionally on point. You're going to be a completely different person. You're going to vibrate at a completely different level. People are going to be like, there's something different about you. I don't know what it is, but there's just something different. Because you're on a completely different playing field when you're healed emotionally. Completely. Okay? So, anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I hope this really helped you out. I really want to hear your stories about what you did and what you discovered as you start. And remember, the first time that you do this, it may flow or it may take 10 or 20 attempts to get it to come out, okay? Because we've been repressing for so long. This is a skill, believe it or not. Learning to deal with your emotional shit is a skill that you have to learn to do, okay? You have to learn how to do it. And it takes practice, just like with getting in shape, you're not going to be in shape after that first rep, right? You got to do a million more before you're going to be in shape, okay? And it's the same thing when it comes to you learning how to do the emotional work, because this is what it is. So if you hear me use the phrase emotional work, this is what I mean. You got to release this shit, okay? And there's other ways of doing it, but these are the two easiest ways that I have found to do it. And as I've done it, I've also learned that I can tap into my emotions like this now. Like literally, like instantly. Like if there's something that's making me upset, like ugly cry face, like instantly. I can tap into it. Let it go, right? Let it out. Cry for 10 seconds. It's gone, right? And that's it. And I move forward, right? So anyway, you got to release it. That's the main thing that I want to tell you is you have to release the emotions, all right? Car scream, box, let that shit out. Tell me your stories. Send me a DM. Send me a PM. Let me know how much this helped you. Let me know what it is that you did. Maybe something when you were doing it, you discovered something. Like, there's been times I've been doing work and something popped in my head that I completely forgot about. 1000%. And all of a sudden, and then I start to release the emotions from that, and I didn't even know that shit was there, right? I had no clue that I was still holding on to that stuff. And it just came out, and I was like, wow, I had no idea. This is crazy. So you got to release it. Just surrender to whatever it is that you're feeling. Make sure you're in private. Make sure that you're not expressing any anger in front of your women, okay? Make her feel safe. Make her feel secure. Handle your anger somewhere else in private. Go deal with your shit. Go for a drive, okay? And make sure that you are there for her when she's trying to express to you. So when she's trying to express, listen and try and listen to what she's really trying to say. Try and listen to what's really behind what she's saying, right? And then appreciate her for trying to make you better, or your life better, or your household better, or your business better. Whatever it is that she's talking about, thank her for it. Because in some way, your woman is making you a better man, and you need to be grateful for that. Remember that shit. Behind everything that she's saying is to make you better, okay? So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I love you. I appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.